This video is going to be looking at measuring angles. So if you've not looked at the other angles videos first, have a look at those. We measure angles using a protractor. And a protractor is just a measuring device like a ruler. It's just measuring angles instead of length. So you can see it's got a scale starting from 0 on this side, then all the way around to the angle of a straight line, which is 180 degrees. It's also got a scale running the other way, which is a bit confusing, but we'll look at that in a minute. So a straight line is 180 degrees. If I went all the way back round to 0, it would be 360 degrees. So we've got an angle here, and we're going to see if we can measure it using a protractor. First thing you need to do is look at the angle you're measuring. In this case, we're measuring this angle on the left, because we're going to look at the angle on the right in a minute. Here's our protractor. Now the important thing with measuring using protractors is to line it up. You'll see the little crosshair if you follow the line down from 90 degrees. And that needs to line up at the point where the two lines meet for the angle, like so. And then I'm going to start at my 0, follow the scale up, and you can see it's ended up at the 50. That means that this angle is 50 degrees. And again, like in the earlier videos, the degree symbol is that little circle floating above the 0 there. So that angle is 50 degrees. If we wanted to look at the opposite angle, on the right hand side, we can also measure that, or we can figure it out ourselves. I'll show you how to do that later, but I'm going to bring the protractor down again, and we're going to follow this time the other scale. So we're going to find the 0, which is there, and we're going to follow it all the way around and see that it winds up at 130. So that angle is 130 degrees. You may have noticed in the last example that if you add the two angles together, you get 180. So whenever we're dealing with angles on a straight line like this, if you add both the angles together, you'll always get 180, which is the number of degrees in a straight line. So let's see if we can prove that's true. We're going to measure the first angle, which is A. We'll line the protractor up, follow the scale around the outside, and you can see that it's halfway between 120 and 130. So you can count the little lines and see that we end up at 125 degrees. Now we can take the protractor away and we can use the simple subtraction sum to figure out what the angle of B would be. So B is going to be 180, which is the straight line, minus the 125 degrees. So you can pause the video now and work that out on a calculator or on paper if you want to. And you should come up with the answer that B equals 55 degrees. Let's look at another example then of angles on a straight line. This one's really simple. So we have here, angle A is a right angle. Now you should remember what a right angle is from previous videos, but if you don't, we'll bring the protractor in and you can see that the right angle is 90 degrees. That means that on the other side, angle B has to be a right angle as well. So angle A is going to be 90 degrees. Angle B, you can see it's got the symbol, so it is also 90 degrees. If we add 90 as well, we end up with 180, which is the degrees in a straight line. Okay, let's try one last example together before you do some measuring practice of your own. So here we've got another set of angles on a straight line. We're going to find C first. So we'll bring our protractor in and have a go. See if you can figure out what C is. If you got that C equals 70 degrees, well done. And then pause the video and see if you can figure out what angle D must be. So what you should have done is 180 minus 70, which you can work out on a calculator or in your head. And you should have realized that D must equal 110 degrees. If you got that correct, that's brilliant, well done. Okay, we're going to put some angles up here now for you, and they're going to have protractors over the top. So what I'd like to do is see if you can figure out what the angles are and read the protractors accurately. So we've got angle E and angle F. Here's your protractors. See if you can figure it out.